ॐ एकदन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्तिः प्रचोदयात्। ऐंकार ह्रींकार रहस्ययुक्त श्रींकार गुणार्थ महाविभूत्या ओंकार मर्म प्रतिपादिनेभ्यां नमो नमः। श्री गुरु पादुकाभ्यां श्री गुरु पादुकाभ्यां श्री गुरु पादुकाभ्याम्। उग्रं वीर्यं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नृसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युं नमाम्यहम्। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं ॐ। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। Welcome to today's Sri Vidya Upasana Vedanta class. In the previous class, we were discussing about the term Upasana. The Upasana is meant for Vanaprastha people who are supposed to do Upasana. After completing their Grihastha Dharma, after completing their all household duties for their sons, daughters, grandson, family, wife, etc., then in Vedic time, people used to go for learning, further learning. Already they have learned. What they have learned? They have completed Karma Kanta portion. Karma Kanta portion is completed. Then they want to do Jnana Kandam, so that they approach the gurus who live in Aranyakam, means forest, and they start learning without any commitment. That is why Tapobhihi Kshirna Papanam Shantanam Vitaraginam Mukshunam Hitartaya Atmabodho Vidiyate. Bhagavan Sri Shankara says this teaching is meant for those who are in Vanaprastha Dharma, Ashrama Dharma, and who are tapasvis, who have already completed a tapasya. What is that tapas? Karma yoga. And now they are shantanam, they are shantaha. How they are shantaha? How they are the people of peace? How it is possible for them? How is it possible for them? For that I referred Ashantasya Kuta Sukham. So we search for Sukham, happiness. We are not satisfied with what we are. Always we want to qualify ourselves in addition to what we have. It may be for the sake of knowledge, it may be for the sake of money, it may be for the sake of prestige or position. Because we estimate ourselves with I definition, I is equal to body, mind, sense complex. We are not able to understand what Atman is. So we estimate ourselves with the available data about ourselves to the Antahkarana. So the teaching goes to Antahkarana. Atma doesn't need any teaching. Antahkaranas are having adhyasa. So this antakarana plus adhyasa manifested by Atman is Jivatman. Jivo Brahmaiva na paraha. Jivo Brahmaiva, Bhagavan says. Jiva is also Brahman. But now Jiva cannot understand I am Brahman. So that when it is told towards us that you are Ishvara, we are not able to accept. But Sri Vidya Upasana does this. At the level of Upasana itself, it is complete. And to assimilate the completeness, we need Vedanta philosophy. At the level of Upasana level itself, Sri Vidya says, according to Samayachara Sri Vidya tradition, Devi, the Upasana Devi, Guru, Mantra, Yantra, Yantra means Sri Chakra, and the procedure, the Tantra. All these five are one and the same. So there is no difference between Devi and the Aham, the person, Upasaka, who does this Tantra. So in the place of Tantra, we will put Aham. If we put Tantra, that is the beginning level understanding. I repeat, Devi, Mantra, Yantra, Tantra, and the Upasaka are all one. In the place of Mantra, you can place Guru. In the place of Tantra, you can place Aham. So Devi, Guru, final form, Devi, Guru, Mantra, Yantra, and Aham. Devi, Guru, Yantra, Mantra, Aham are all one. Who says? The Sri Vidya Guru teaches this in Varivasya Rahasya. Bhagavan Basuranandanatha teaches. There is a Samanadikaranyam between these five. Samanadikaranyam means equal in order. Grammatically also it should be in same Vibhakti, same Purusha. There should not be any change. So all these five are one and the same. So we are not able to accept how Devi and myself can be one. How my Guru and myself can be one. Can be the same. My Guru knows many things. I am a learner. I know little things. After learning, Guru and Shishya are one. That is different. Before learning, Guru and Shishya are one. The mantra and Yantra, Tantra, Aham, all are one. Aham means the Upasaka. Are all given equal status. So how to understand this in Sri Vidya Upasana Marga? And I have sent you the Varivasya Rahasya text, which I will highlight 15 to 20 shlokas only. There are 140 shlokas in the second portion. The Dvitiyamsha has 140 shlokas, out of which I am going to tell you only 20 shlokas highlighted in this course, in which he explains the Maha Vakyartha to Sri Vidya mantra. Okay, we have studied Om Aim Hrim Shri. Om Aim Hrim Shrim Om we have studied. I hope during Amavasya or Pratama you would have started the Upasana. Both days are auspicious. According to Upasana, Pratama is also auspicious, not inauspicious. It can be worshipped from Pratama to Paurnami. Tithi. First lunar day to full moon day, you can do this Aim Hrim Shri. So when we study about Tithi Nitya Devis, you will come to understand about this. And today I would like to give you the Ganapati Bijakshara. A Upasaka should be initiated at the first with Ganapati Mula Mantra. Now I am giving you the basic one bija of Ganapati Bijakshara. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Bijakshara. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Otherwise, you can chant Om Gam Om, Om Gam Om, Om Gam Om. You can chant. Already you have 108 mantras. This is a new mantra here, and after so many mantras are going to come. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Very important mantra. Gam means silence. Gum leads you to silence. If you take a bottle of dirty water mixed with so many ingredients like soil, etc., in a glass bottle, you cannot see anything when it is oscillating or vibrating. Keep it for some time. Next day, after 24 hours, if you see the bottle, how it will be, all the impurities will get settled down. So this is the first prayatnam Upasaka should do. Without this step, if you enter into other steps, even Yama Niyama, it is very difficult to get progress. So first, stand still. I have nothing to do. Sitting silently. Be in silence. Yes, always I am sitting in silence. I don't speak. There are people who perform Mauna Vrata also. Mauna Vrata, they won't speak. At the beginning hour of the Mauna Vrata. Today they will declare, some board also they will put. Today I am keeping silence, Mauna Vratam. Then they will start Im language. Like nowadays the youngsters are speaking. How do they speak? Anna, saptiya. This is called Im language. That Im language has lot of expression also. Kopa. All Shadrasas, Navarasas you can show with Im language. So that is not accepted in Maunavrata. Means what? Come. With Im I can communicate you. With Im I can communicate. See? How many gestures in Im language? So this breaks silence. And some people are there. They will write and show. Don't speak with me. They will write and show. Some people may object. No, Swamiji, we don't use hymn language. We don't use writing and showing on a slate. Nothing. But my inner mind is speaking with me. There was one of my best friend, he used to say, when he was not happy about him, he used to say, Gopal, Gopal, he will show himself. Gopal, what are you doing? He will show himself. Even this mind is speaking with themselves. Within the mind won't be silent, you know. When you are trying to maintain the maunam, lot of problems will come. You will be expecting some important call, it won't come. Other days, during the Mauna Vrata, it will come. The best enemy for Mauna Vrata is mobile phone. Immediately you will get a call from your friend. No other go, you will compromise. Your guru will call. Then there is a compromise. I can speak with my guru. Nothing doing. You are not supposed to speak verbally or mentally. That is called Mauna Vrata. You should practice. So, Mauna Abhyasa, the practice of silence, will be the first step for any meditation, not only for Sri Vidya Upasana. Even you can apply this to your children. Nowadays, online classes are there. Before starting the online class, ask your children to sit 5 minutes in silence. 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. online class starts. 7:55, the student should sit in front of the laptop or computer or mobile, any device, silence, 5 minutes. Then you see, he will not skip the online class. I used to do in our lectures also. Why some people used to sleep when Swamiji is talking? They will go in deep sleep. Surrender to Swamiji. I have surrendered myself to Swamiji. My Swamiji, form of love and compassion. He will take care of everything. Why I should bother? When he meditates like this, he will get only sleep. Settle down. Total peace and silence. That peace, that silence which comes during the sleep should be experienced while you are aware. That is the Mauna Dhyana. That is called first level of Maunam, Vak Maunam. Vag Maunam, Vak Maunam. Vak Maunam. While we are not speaking, it is called Vak Maunam. When even the mental chatting is not there, then it is called Mano Maunam. Vak Maunam, Mano Maunam. Swami Dakshinamurti is sitting in Maunam. It is Maha Maunam. Great silence. When the teacher is asking question, if student is in silence, it shows his ignorance. When a student asks the teacher, if the teacher is in silence, that is not because of ignorance. That is because of the Purnatvam. That is because of the completeness, full and completeness. When you are able to understand the full and completeness bhava, that is called Maha Maunam. Actually, Anirvachyam, which cannot be told. The secret of Mithya, Maya, is Anirvachyam. It cannot be told in verbal expression. Only through various other prakriya or process we are trying to explain. It is that, that is this is that. And sometimes we use neti, neti. It is not that, it is not that. There are two kinds of Vidimukha, Nishedamukha Vyakhyana. Vidimukha Vyakhyana, Nishedamukha Vyakhyana. Vidimukha Vyakhyana, Vidimukha Vyakhyana is this. Ishvara is Jagat Karanam. Jagat Karanam Ishvaraha. This is the Vidhi. Who is the creator, sustainer and destroyer is Ishvara. This is a Vidhi. Jagat Karanam Ishvara. This is Vidhi Mukha explanations. Nisheda Mukha explanation is Jagat is not Ishvara. Jagat is not Ishvara. This is Jagat is Mithya. Atma Anatma difference. Nisheda Mukha, Vidhi Mukha explanation. So one is, another is not. Two kinds of explanation we can give. And in person we can explain. In first person context, I can say Aham Brahmasmi. In second person context, I can pick up a Mahavakya which says Tat Tvam Asi. In third person context, I am Atma Brahma. I am Atma Brahma, I can say. Because you should not say Aham Brahmasmi means so he is Brahma, I am not Brahman. You should not think. That is why Vedas say Tat Tvam Asi. It is you. It is I, it is you, it is he. Then all are Ishvara, all are Brahman. So first requirement is silence. Try this silence. What is the method? Abhyasa. In a temple, they used to give the afternoon lunch. The afternoon lunch will be given prasada. A single rice they will make, they will offer to Lord, and then they will pack in a cover and give to everyone. So they will have a list for the priest. He is the top person. Because of him only everything happens. 3 packets of food. For the assistant priest, 2 packets of the food. For the bell boy who rings the bell, 1 packet. For the sweeper, 2 packets. Like this they will allot, And there is a sadhu who is sitting outside of the temple. He will not do any seva, just he will be sitting outside, he will get the bhiksha, whatever people give. He is a sadhu in saffron dress. And for him also the temple management allotted 1 packet of food. How many packets to the sadhu? 1 packet. How many packets to the priest? 3 packets. See the hierarchy. And after some time, the management changed. New management came. New trustees have come, new office bearers have come. They all had one board meeting. Board meeting happened and they discussed a lot of things about the management of the temple, what is the income of the temple, what is the expenditure of the temple. And the new trustee said, we have to control the free Annadana which goes to people. Then they took the list. Then one person read for the priest 3 packets, for the assistant priest 2 packets, for the bellboy 1 packet, for the sweeper 2 packets, for the sadhu 1 packet. What is that? For the sadhu 1 packet. What does he do? Oh, he does nothing. He simply sits. Sitting silently out of the temple, he sits silently. What for you are giving 1 packet of food a person who never works, simply sitting, and people are giving money also? Stop that. The top person of the management told, stop that. Don't give 1 packet to the person who sits outside the temple, who is called as a sadhu. Don't give anything. Then they stopped. After 2-3 days, the sadhu was waiting. One day it is not coming, second day it didn't come, third day also. Then he got astonished. Why this food packet is not given to me? He went and asked the manager, Swami, what happened? I am not getting food. No, we have stopped. The temple management has stopped food giving to you because you are not working. You are not worthy of getting 1 packet. Oh, I mean, then I want to meet the person who stopped the food packet to me. So in Tamil, this food packet is called pattai. Oru pattai, rendu pattai, moonu pattai. Patta sadam nu peru. Food packet is called patta sadam. So the person sadhu went and met the managing trustee, who came the next day. Swami, you have stopped me the food packet. Yes, you are not worthy. You are simply sitting. Why I should give you food packet? I have stopped. Then this priest, this sadhu said, Swami, I accept. Can you sit simply, silently? What is that? You are waste. Simply sitting is very easy. Okay, Swami, can you sit along with me for at least 1 hour? Why 1 hour? A whole day I can sit without doing any work, because we are all busy people. Our target is progress, progress, progress. This is what this modern culture taught me. I should progress. I should win the world. I should increase my bank balance. I should not sit silently. These are all the motivation classes we are attending. Top speakers are speaking about working hard, working 24 hours, how to work 24 hours. I have a book in my shelf, how to work 24 hours to gain more progress. You are simply sitting, sleeping, yawning. If I see your face, I cannot yawn. He scolds him. Then, with all anger, he went along with the sadhu and sat in front of the temple to maintain silence for about a day. He was about to sit silently for 10 minutes. After that, his mobile phone started alarming. After that, he could not sit silently. Who is calling? Can I take the mobile and see? Is the call from home? Is somebody sick or what? Is any problem in my factory? I am sitting here simply. I have not locked the treasure box. If somebody steals it, what I can do? Got irritated, confused. He was not able to sit even for 10 minutes. Within 10 minutes, he got disturbed and irritated. He was not able to sit silently. Somehow he managed to sit about 20 minutes, and at the end of an hour, he stood up and gave up the competition. My dear Sadhu, I cannot sit silently like you. Sitting silently is the greatest job in this world. So I accept, I am defeated. So from today onwards, for Sadhu, Moonu Pattai, 3 packets of food should be given. So he changed his idea. Moonu Patta Kudunga, Sadhuku Moonu Pattai. This is what Pattasadam Kadai, which was told by Puja Swamiji, and all our acharyas used to tell this story often. So you know the value of silence now. So the first practice for sadhana is to sit silently. Switch off your mobile phones. Close your door. Sit silently. Observe within. All our sensory perceptions are designed to observe externally, to collect informations out from outside. So now you are into Vaidika Dharma. So far you were into Laukika Dharma, which is the material life. Now you are entering into spiritual life. When you are in material life, you have to open your eyes. If somebody gives 10,000 rupees, open your eyes and count whether it is $10,000 or not. 10,000 rupees or not. And you should clearly note what shabda is, what sound is coming. You should be alert by all your sensory perceptions for material world. When you are entering into spiritual world, you should turn within. You should turn all these perceptions within. You are entering into temple zone. When you are nearing to the temple zone, you listen. Turn, 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 bell is ringing. Temple bringing, bell is ringing. Now your ears are turned towards Ishvara. And you are seeing the darshan of Devi. Lalitambika, you are seeing. Vikasita Vadana, with all smiling face, Devi Parashakti is blessing you. Always she is smiling. She blesses you. You are opening your eyes and seeing the darshan of Arati. Then the light Jyoti comes within. Eyes are used spiritually. And you are smelling the fragrance of agarbatti. Nose is used for spiritual development. And you are taking the kumkum, vibhuti, and applying on your forehead, the touch sense is used. And you are taking the prasada, your taste sense is used. So now you are into spirituality. Then you sit silently. You are free to listen any sound. Listen, what are the sounds you are able to listen? In my room, the fan sound is there. The aircon sound is there. Listen to that. We are nearby the forest. I am listening the birds sound. Listen to that. Nearest sound. Then practice to listen the sound little away. What are the sounds coming from a distant place? Try to listen. Then increase your distance of listening about 100 meters, 200 meters. I am sure by sitting in your place, you will be able to listen a sound which is produced 5 kilometers away. That is the human listening ability. This happens when you shut down all other faculties. You will be able to listen a sound which comes from a far off place. Then close your eyes. Don't close like this, tightly don't close. Gently you close. Slow down your breathing. Slowly. Bring your concentration within. And come back from faraway place to the closest place. Observe within. Sit in silence. And now you understand that my mind cannot be stopped. No mind state is not at all possible unless the person is dead. As long as the blood circulation is there in the body, mind will work. When the mind will come to silence, think one alone. For that only you need an alambanam. Alambanam is centralized concentration. A photograph or picture of the deity or Sri Yantra. Here now in the beginning, vision concentration is difficult, visualization is very difficult. So we give a mantra. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. When you chant, you are listening. When you are chanting this mantra, you are listening also. It should be in a particular rhythm. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. You are listening. You are chanting, you are listening. You continue this practice. Within 2-3 days, you will feel the silence. In the Upasana, teachers, gurus used to tell, you have to do 1 lakh times Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. 1 lakh times of Triakshari mantra. Like that they used to give. What for? To practice your mind into silence. Think one alone. That is a target. Number of times doesn't matter. Even though you chant for 11 times, chant with completeness. With full and completeness. Even though you don't chant 108 times, chant the mantra with fullness, with mindfulness. Mindfulness. That is the first practice. Once you develop this, you will be able to do the next level of upasanas. Now I go to Vedanta part of the day. Already we studied Atma Bodha. What is Atma Bodha? Atma Bodha is self-knowledge. I have sent you various texts. I have sent you. Atma Bodha means self-knowledge. I would like to make you remember, self-knowledge means not the knowledge about the self, it is the knowledge of the self. There is no difference between self and the knowledge. So first we give the hyphen, later we will put equal. Initially we give one hyphen, later we will put equal to. So the self-knowledge is knowledge of the self. Tapobihi kshina papanam shantanam vitaraginam mumukshunam apekshoyam atmabodho vidiyate. Bodhonya sadhanebhyo hi sakshan mokshaih sadhanam. साक्षान् मोक्षैकसाधनं पाकस्य वह्निवज्ञानं विना मोक्षो न सिद्ध्यति. They are telling, as the fire is the direct cause of cooking, so the knowledge and not any other discipline. Knowledge is the direct reason for liberation. Knowledge is the direct means of liberation. Sakshat moksha ekasadhanam. Sakshat moksha ekasadhanam. Knowledge is the direct reason for liberation. Liberation is not possible without knowledge. Liberation is not possible without knowledge. Now, first they said, who are the adhikaris, who are the eligible people who can do the sadhana for the sake of liberation. Why do you do sadhana? Sadhana is for liberation, not for any other thing. So liberation is not possible without knowledge. Now there is a question, what is this liberation? What is this mukti? What is this moksha? Bodhaha anya sadhanebhyahi. There are no other means of knowledge. Sakshat moksha eka sadhanam. How it is equal to fire. Pakasya vannivat. Direct means. Which is the fire? For cooking. Jnanam vina, without jnanam, moksha na siddhyati. Moksha is not happening, will not happen. Moksha is not available for those who don't gain knowledge. Liberation is knowledge. Knowledge is liberation. Now there is a question, what is mukti? I will tell you, as we have misunderstood about God, we have misunderstood about moksha also. Moksha means, in Karma Kanda angle, it is told that the Upasaka, after gaining the grace of the Upasana deity, Upasya, then he goes to the higher lokas. What is loka, you know? Lokyati, lokyate, loka. This lok dhatu, lok means experience. Whatever you experience is lok. What do you experience? You experience which is not you. You can experience which is not you. Whenever you use the word experience, there are two entities. One is the experiencer. Another one is the experienced. I was doing Sri Vidya Sadhana. Then after some time, I forgot something and I was having some sensation in my back that something like a snake is going up to the head. An experience, right? Otherwise, when I was doing Aim Hrim Shrim Om, I was getting one blue color light. That is experience. This is possible. I don't deny. This is possible, but what I am telling is this experience is unreal because you are experiencing it. Experiencer, experienced duality is there in this issue. So experience is not you. So lokas are not real because it is experienced. Burloka, Bhuvarloka, Swargaloka, Swargaloka, you go and experience. Sripuram, you go and experience. Sri Vaikunta, you go and experience. Wherever you go, you experience something. In Swarga, what do you experience? I will experience peace. For peace, experiencing, you are giving your punya phala. You are spending your punya phala. After spending the punya phala, your liberation is over. You will be sent back to karma bhumi. So this is one way of mukti which happens after death, which is also told. How do you know? You can ask. It is Shastra. Shastra says the Punya Atma, Punya Jivatma will go to higher loka. Shastra say. And they will be there in Pitru Loka. They will be in higher loka, Brahma Loka. Those Atmas, Punya Atmas will go to Brahma Loka. So, since it is lok, means experience, it is also not the real liberation. You know, in Swarga, your happiness depends upon your allotment. If you have 100% punya, you will be allotted to great levels. If you have less punya, your level of happiness will be less. I will tell you stories regarding Swarga experience. But now, in view of time, I directly mention the true liberation is the liberation which you gain while living. Jivite mukti. This is the true mukti. Because how can I know whether I will go to Swarga or Naraka after death? I will not be able to understand. But now I can understand. Aham Brahmasmi. While living in the same physical body, with all these cheating 5 sensory perceptions, while I am misguided towards many diversified attractions, while living, if I do this upasana, Sri Vidya upasana, I will gain my eligibility to understand Shastra. When the person is highly qualified with upasana, which is equivalent to the Jnanapala, the upasana pala and Jnanapala are equal, immediately the person will gain the knowledge. Immediately it will work. Uttamaha Sishyaha, Uttamaha Chatraha, Uttama Chatraha. For him, immediately he is able to understand. Immediately he gains Jivite Mukti. So the true Mukti is gaining knowledge. What knowledge? Knowledge of Brahman. Brahma Jnanam or Ishvara Jnanam or Adhyatma Jnanam is the true spiritual knowledge. It is about the self. So that is the only direct reason. All others are indirect reason. Punya phalas are all indirect reasons. Karma yoga is indirect reason. Dhyana yoga is indirect reason, which leads to mukti, jivite mukti. But upasana, that to particular Sri Vidya upasana, takes you near, closer to Brahma Jnana. That is why Brahma Jnana and Sri Vidya Jnana are equal. Liberation is not possible without knowledge. So our Lakshya is Vidya. Knowledge means what? Vidya. Vidya means what? Knowledge. What kind of knowledge? Knowledge about the self, Atma Bodha. Now you have understood why I am relating Atma Bodha with Sri Vidya. The true meaning of Sri Vidya is otherwise called Atma Bodha. Sri Vidya is equal to Atma Bodha. Atma is equal to Devi. Atma is equal to Brahman. Atma is equal to Ishvara. Atma is equal to I. So this is the ultimate aim of Sri Vidya Upasana. Aviroditaya karma na vidyam vinivartayet vidya vidyam nihantyeva tejastimira sangavat. Next shloka. Aviroditaya karma na avidyam vinivartayet vidya vidyam nihanti eva tejah timira sangavat. So some people will ask, okay, you are telling about mukti. I will do my action, that is karma, without fail. So I can gain victory over ignorance. I will be a sincere karma yogi. Can't I get mukti? No. Karma, action cannot destroy ignorance as it has no contradiction with it. Because one can be destroyed which is contradicted to the opposite. There should be a contradiction. Like light and darkness. Light and darkness are two contradictory topics. When light comes, darkness cannot be there. Tejaha timira sangavat. As light destroys dense darkness, karma, action cannot destroy ignorance as it has no contradiction with it. Knowledge alone destroys ignorance as light destroys dense darkness. So when Jyoti is there, light cannot be there. Here, what Jyoti it is? It is not the Jyoti of a candle or a lamp. It is the Atma Jyoti, understanding the self. So, aviroditaya karma, which is not contradictory, to ignorance. Karma is not opposite to ignorance. Both are very, very good friends, thick friends. Karma and ignorance go together. In that, better karma is karma yoga. What is the difference between karma? Say, I am duty consciousness. I think duty is my God. Some people used to say, Sayyam Tolile Devam. I don't go to temple. I don't believe these samyars. I don't believe these acharyas. I believe only in myself and my duty. I will go to my factory. I will work for 24 hours and I will come back. Karma is not the source of liberation. So, because it is because of ignorance. Better karma is karma yoga. What is karma yoga? The simpler definition we used to give is, we will also explain in the next class. And the simple explanation for karma yoga, when karma becomes karma yoga, is when I do my duty as Ishwararpanam and accept the result as Ishvara Prasada. I do my duty with consciousness of Ishvara and I accept any result which comes through the duty as the blessings from Ishvara. As a blessing I take. So this is called Karma Yoga. Planning for a result and working is not a wrong thing. If you don't get a result, then you should not worry. That is the matter. You may get result or you may not get result because you don't have adhikara over the result. You have adhikara power on the work only, on the duty only, on the karma only. More we will discuss regarding this Vedanta topic in the next class. So today's summary is Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Gam Ganapataye Namaha is related to silence. The nama of the deity is Ganapati. Gana means the all beings of the world. Gana, Jagat. Pati means head of all ganas. Nama. Rupa is elephant. Shabda, now you know, Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Gam Ganapataye Namaha is the Shabda. Artha, also now you know, meditate upon it. What is the Artha? Silence. So whenever you take any upasana, you should find these four. Nama is Saraswati. Rupa. When you remember Saraswati, what do you remember? Veena. You remember Veena? That is the Rupa. What is the Shabda? Now you know. Aim is the Shabda. Aim is the Shabda. What is the Artha? Knowledge. Nama Rupa Shabda Artha. When we take Hreem, Nama is Durga. Rupa, standing on the head of Mahishasura. Shabda is Hreem. Artha is courage, power Shakti. Then coming to Shreem, Nama is Mahalakshmi. Shabda is Shreem. Rupa, lotus. When you remember Mahalakshmi, you remember lotus. Now, why they are depicting the images of gods and goddesses in a particular way with some special features like Veena, like head of Mahishasura, or the lotus, for visualization. Nama is Mahalakshmi, Rupa is lotus, Shabda is Shreem, Artha is wealth. Nama Rupa Shabda Artha. Which deity you will connect to Om? Which deity you will connect to Om? Aim you are connecting with Saraswati. Hreem you are connecting to Durga. Shreem you are connecting to Lakshmi. Which deity you will connect to Om? Om is Brahman. Om is Brahman, which is consciousness, which is pure consciousness. When I say first Om, I don't know what it is. I know only it is a sacred syllable, monosyllable. Then Om, I travel through Aim, Hreem, Shreem. Again, finally I say Om. Now I know that Om is none other than the self. This is a transformation which happens during the Sri Vidya Upasana and learning of the Artha Vedanta. Thank you for joining today's class. I appreciate your patience and silence and interest. One question is there, now itself we will clear. Swamiji, I did not understand the contradictory part. Can you please explain again? Karma is not contradictory to ignorance. Why I do karma? It is because of my ignorance. It is difficult to accept, and we have to discuss more. This is the meaning. Karma means when I believe the action of karma as moksha sadhana, then it is ignorance. Because karma cannot give moksha. That is why before telling this or listening this, you should well define yourself with the pada moksha. What do you mean by moksha? Moksha means not going to Swarga. Moksha means self-realization. Atmajnana is moksha. Jivite mukti, in the same physical body. Jivan muktaha. Person is called Jivan muktaha. How he can attain that? Only through sadhana. Why he has to do sadhana? We are not able to understand the contradiction and contradiction part. It says there is no contradiction because karma is not contradicted with ignorance. Avidya is equal to karma. Very tough to accept. Always we have listened, do your duty, don't expect anything. This is what wrong thing. The karma yoga part is different from karma. How will you differentiate karma and karma yoga? Karma means for selfish reason. Karma yoga means not for selfish reasons. Selfless duty is karma yoga. Selfish duty is karma. Karma will lead to more and birth death cycle. Karma will only lead to birth and death cycle. Only jnanam will stop birth and death cycle. This you will understand more. Avirodhitaya, the word from Atma Bodha says, since it is not contradictory to karma, ignorance cannot be removed through karma. Only jnanam can remove avidya as the light removes darkness. This is what we have studied. Thank you. More we will study in the next class. And now you can start Om Gam Ganapate Namaha at least for 11 times. 11 times enough. Om Aim Hrim Shrim Om 108 times you can continue a day or twice in a day. But Gam Ganapate Namaha, whenever you do Om Aim Hrim Shrim Om, you add 11 times Gam Ganapate Namaha without fail. Some more mantras are there. In forthcoming classes, I will give you those mantras. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Samaya Achara. Samaya Achara Shri Vidya. What we learn is Samaya Achara Shri Vidya, Advaita Purva Siddhanta, Samaya Achara Shri Vidya. In Shri Vidya, there are so many sections, branches are there. What we follow is called Samaya Achara Shri Vidya Sampradaya. More we will study. And Samaya means Devi says, I am with you. I am with you means Samaya. That is why Devi cult has this context in time, Samaya. All the best. Oh.